Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bozard Ford studio for the St. Johns County show that's on in the morning. We have a new law that preserves historic buildings, especially in St. Augustine, an update on a popular music fest, major traffic shift plan for County Road 210, and Florida lawmakers want to pump up the rainy day fund with a constitutional amendment. We'll get to all that and more, but first, we want to thank Bozard Ford. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's a local legacy built on trust, family values, and a commitment to doing things the right way. Proudly serving St. Augustine and beyond for over 75 years, Bozard offers award-winning service, unbeatable selection, and state-of-the-art facility with 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment-needed maintenance, and even Ford's garage right there on site for delicious burgers like the Jiffy Burger. Recognized with the Triple Crown Award and President's Awards, Bozard Ford Lincoln is where hometown service meets national excellence. Great pricing, friendly faces, and a better buying experience are just off I-95 and State Road 16. Bozard Ford Lincoln, they are driven to inspire. Also, a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors: Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Bin 39 Wine Bar, B&S Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy Houses. Support all of our wonderful sponsors and support us with your likes, comments, and shares. Find us on YouTube and Rumble. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so subscribe, follow us, all the things. You can help us get that new lint roller for Troy's hat collection. Facebook stars, we love them. We do need it.
Ugh.
It's a rough day. Facebook stars are a big help. We really appreciate those. And our app is in the Apple App Store. Pick it up. Download it today. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's
Weekend.
the weekend.
Yes.
Oh.
I've busted, so I don't have to work quite as hard today.
Mhm.
And I'll actually get a weekend this week.
Okay.
I'm excited.
You made sure you had like, okay, I'm work this hard and get all this done by this day, and then I'll have a weekend.
Well, you know the thing, like you've got so many jobs that if you don't kill it at every job and keep pace, then you just never get a weekend. And I've had a few weeks like that.
Yeah, and my weekend starts as soon as I'm done with my 904 cents, which you have a new segment coming in today. But as soon as I'm done with that, my weekend starts. I'm doing a little long weekend and a little getaway this weekend.
Very nice. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. So doing a getaway.
You're all packed, or is someone packing for you?
No, I pack. No one ever packs for me.
No,
you don't know my personality. Every OCD. I gotta have everything in the right position. Everything's got to be rolled tightly and put away. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, no. OCD people don't have other people pack for them.
Yeah. My dad's definitely not OCD.
Just like throw it all in there.
I think he got married so that he never had to pack.
My
mom packs for him. That man has never known what he was going to wear on a trip until he opened his suitcase at location.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, I mean, I don't have a problem packing for everybody.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't inconvenience me later.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the way my brain works.
Yeah, I get that.
You know,
I have to check everything to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, I have extra toothbrushes, I have extra Band-Aids, I have extra everything's, and I have them stowed away in different places where people will randomly find them.
Yes,
so.
I get that. I totally do that as well.
Yeah.
I think you just got to be prepared.
Yeah. No. I mean, as far as like people to travel with, I would love to travel with me.
Yeah. Same. I would too, actually, because I always know where everything is, and if you didn't pack it, I probably have it for you.
That's pretty much it. And I know what time we're going to be there, when we're going to be there, what we're going to do. The process of that, all of that stuff has to be stuck in my head, or I'm in trouble.
That's exactly what I do, unless I'm traveling with my dad, and my dad will make all the plans. So he'll make all of the arrangements, and he's got a Loctite system of envelopes. He always has the envelopes for everything. Okay. So, like, if you're taking logistics for a day, you get the envelope.
Oh, okay.
It's a big deal.
Passing the envelope.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Blake's, you know, he really he had to learn how to travel with me, or You know,
Yeah.
so and Blake's he's a good travel partner too.
That's good.
So he pretty much knows. You know, every once in a while he'll slide away. He's not as OCD as me for sure, but
Yeah.
But he itineraries. He's good about sticking to itineraries.
Yeah. I like to pack the vehicle if it's a road trip
Mm-hmm.
because if not, it's not going to get packed efficiently, and then there's just stuff everywhere and it's chaos.
Yeah.
So I like to pack the car.
That's funny. That's one of my least. That's one of my least. Like that's the one I'll let go of.
Yeah, because you're in the driver's seat. You don't have to see it.
Vehicle. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to go back there and say, "Hey, can you get the?" No, I'm not that guy. I'm the one driving. So
yeah.
So I don't have to get that stuff. I'd probably be more involved in the process if I was sitting in the
passenger princess spot.
Passenger princess. I wasn't going to say it, but
I'm passenger princess 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, how you doing in there? You making it?
Try my best. It's not pretty.
Blake's allergies are kicking his ass this week.
I'm so happy that I don't have anything on this weekend, so I'm just gonna lay in bed and just get this stuff out.
All Blake has to do is keep the animals alive. That's his sole purpose this weekend.
And
and yourself, keep yourself alive. I probably should have led with that.
Well, oxygen mask first, then you know the others. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you'll be able to get some rest, Blake. Do we have a question of the day?
All right, question of the day is, who is the best action star right now?
Right now.
Right now.
All right, well, if you had asked me a couple of years ago, I would have said Chris Hemsworth, but he seems to have kind of taken a step back a little bit. I'm going to go with Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill?
Yes.
Okay, I don't even know who Henry Cavill is.
He was Superman in the Justice League movies,
yeah,
and Sherlock Holmes, and he was The Witcher. So
See, I'm not a big Superman fan, but I know who he. Okay,
the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare, or whatever.
Okay, he's good.
That was his baby. He put that.
He's
whole cast
believable.
together.
I mean, he's a freaking stud.
Yeah, he's a stud. He was also in Mission Impossible movies, which you probably didn't watch because Tom Cruise.
No, well, not watching those.
You asked that question, and I was like, yeah, well, I know what my answer is not going to be. We do not like Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is not on the list.
Not it. So that's what I would say. I would probably say Henry Cavill, followed by Chris Hemsworth. Alan Richson is an old high school friend, and he's probably rising.
Okay.
Yeah, he's working hard.
So if I ask this question in 3 years, he might be your answer.
It might be Alan Richson.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Honorable mention.
Cool. Blake, who you got?
I'm gonna say Dave Bautista.
Oh, okay.
Dave Bautista?
Yeah.
Not since he lost all the weight and started wearing pearl necklaces.
Hey, he's still good. Dad can vouch for him as a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah,
I very much enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but he's like lost all the weight, gone vegan, and now he looks like he should be on RuPaul's Drag Race as a judge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does not look like an action star anymore. He's had a makeover.
I think the last movie I saw him in was like Tron or one of those.
Yeah. He was still all beef caked out, and now he's not.
Yeah, that's a term no one's ever said about me once.
Beef caked out? Yeah. Right on. Well, you're a pork farmer. You don't want to be beefcake.
Yeah, no one wants to be beefcake.
Probably also don't want to be porky, though.
Don't want to be pork.
Stuck in the middle. What do you think?
I have two very separate ones.
All right.
And I love the Rock movies when he's an action star.
Yeah.
I'm not so much a Rock guy when he's the goofy spoof guy.
Okay.
But I love.
So not the Jumanji guy?
Not so much. Not so much.
Okay.
All right. And the one I think still has staying power is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
He just still has it.
Which is so funny.
It doesn't, because he's like the nice, like if you watch him in an interview, he's like the nicest human being in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever really been in a fight in his life.
Well, he trains jujitsu.
Yeah.
And he's a competitive, he's competitive with weapons now that we're not allowed to, the pew-pews. We can't say it or we'll get shadow banned.
Gotcha.
He got competitive with that because of the John Wick movies. So he's probably more of a badass than he ever has been.
No, but I mean, and I'm looking at him, I'm going, all right. I mean, I loved him in Speed. Yeah. And then now I still, I mean, his character when it's John Wick is believable. And it's like, how is this believable that this guy, he's my age.
Yeah.
He's still kicking ass.
He's great.
Yeah. So
love Keanu.
Yeah.
It's just funny to think that Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure guy
Yeah,
is
exactly.
like an amazing action
and he's
figure.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So Keanu's kind of he might be my secret crush.
Ooh.
So
Confessions on a Friday.
it
Love that.
doesn't make me a bad person.
No,
So
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, it's only when I wear this hat, Keanu. So don't get excited. Don't get excited.
All right, that's the Keanu crush hat.
Yeah. It's my Keanu. If I'm wearing this hat, I'm having a Keanu day.
It's time now for a quick check of the weather.
Afternoon showers.
That quick check of the weather is brought to you by Bin 39. Discover one of St. Augustine's best kept secrets. Bin 39, tucked inside the St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street. With over 95 boutique wines, 50 of them rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker, it's the perfect spot for a romantic date night or a relaxing after-work unwind. Sit by the glass or the bottle in a serene courtyard setting. Enjoy live music Thursday through Sunday. Open daily, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Bin 39, your taste to discover. Hit the Blakes! Traffic report.
Traffic.
It's very green today.
It is. That means probably a lot of pollen, which is bad for me.
Woohoo!
I'm so sorry, Blake. I mean, everything's moving pretty well,
Blake's-
much like your sinuses.
Blake's supervillain. It's pollen.
It's not pollen.
Origin story, village and origin story.
Sahara and dust, pollen. It's just
Canadian smoke.
Canadian wildfires.
Wildflowers probably aren't your favorite either.
All right,
Prius-
that's a
Prius
little
drivers.
busier than what I wanted to see today.
Oh no,
I'm headed north. So it's
is
a little
moving.
busy. It is
I
moving.
don't see brake lights, so that's good. Old Town Trolley is your best way to see the nation's oldest city, so climb aboard Old Town Trolley and experience over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine. This fully narrated 90-minute tour features 22 convenient stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including iconic landmarks like the Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagler's Historic Hotel. With open-air views and all-day hop-on, hop-off access, it's the most fun and flexible way to explore the nation's oldest city. Your ticket also includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum, and local St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest through the Hometown Pass program. Sign up today at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine, one stop at a time. All right, sliding into the news, we've got a statewide law cracks down on demolition of historic buildings in response to St. Augustine's push. A Victorian home torn down in St. Augustine is now at the heart of a new statewide law aimed at protecting Florida's historic structures. Governor Ron DeSantis has signed legislation that increases penalties for the illegal demolition of historic buildings. Under the new law, the fine jumps from just $5,000 to 20% of the property's assessed value, a change driven by local leaders in St. Augustine who say previous penalties lacked consequences. The push follows the demolition of an 1888 Victorian home on Bridge Street last summer. While the demolition was permitted, it sparked public outcry and renewed calls for stronger preservation measures. There's the house there.
Mm-hmm.
City Attorney Isabel Lopez helped to lead the charge for change, saying this new law gives communities more power to protect these stories. St. Augustine is home to more than 3,500 historic structures, including 22 buildings dating back to the first Spanish period. City leaders say the law is a turning point, not just for the nation's oldest city, but for preservation efforts across Florida. Lopez added that the bill will discourage rushed demolitions by making owners think twice before tearing down historic properties. Supporters say the law could also unlock economic opportunities like converting historic homes into boutique inns or Airbnbs, bringing both tourists and revenue. This is St. Augustine, Lopez said. We're the heart of Florida's history. It's time our laws reflect that.
All right, this Bridge Street house, just so we're clear, it didn't just get knocked down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was structurally not sound. It was up on the street. If it had fallen into the street, it would have been a dangerous situation.
Yep.
So I know they're using this as a model, and a lot of people got mad about it, but there was a structural engineer who went in there. I think there might have been two structural engineers who went in there and said, we can't save this house.
Yeah.
The building official, if he goes against the structural engineer at that time and something happens with the house, then he's liable.
Yeah.
So because that guy has the stamp.
Mm-hmm.
So the building official took a lot of abuse over this that wasn't rightfully in his position. He was unjustly attacked.
Yeah.
So again, I want to save all these buildings, and I think you do have to go through the process, and sometimes the process is a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But we live in a historic house, and there's problems.
Yeah,
there's problems, but it's part of as part of the commitment when you buy a historic house. When you buy a historic house, you're married to that historic house. It's not. Yeah. Welcome to the money pit.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shelley Long.
Yeah. Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Which was better, that one or Joe versus the volcano?
Money Pit, 100%.
Money Pit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
100%.
Sometimes I have a brain cloud and just want to go away. So
yeah, same.
Sometimes I kind of wish I was Joe versus the volcano.
Yeah.
But I mean, in this situation, and I like this. I like the bill. And it's on personal structures and on commercial structures also.
Yeah. So this house
we have a couple of those that I manage.
Yeah. So this house was demolished rightfully as per all of the data. Everything went through. It's always tragic to see a historic house taken down. We would much rather them be saved, but if it can't be saved, it can't be saved.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate because the people that sit on the harb have to make a decision without really laying eyes inside the property and some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain things that just can't be saved.
Yeah.
And it has to have some flexibility in the process.
Yeah. 100%.
Gotcha.
All right, moving in to As If 90s Fest in St. Augustine. It was postponed for the third time amid growing frustration among ticket holders. The As If 90s Fest in St. Augustine has been postponed once again, marking the third delay for the much anticipated event. Organizers made the announcement Wednesday night in a Facebook post saying the festival, originally scheduled for June 21st, will now be held sometime this fall with a new lineup to be announced. In the post, organizers cited complications from taking over another festival that they called a complete train wreck, claiming it caused a chain reaction that hurt their ability to promote and plan this year's 90s themed event. Quote, putting on an event that's half our capability wouldn't be worth the squeeze, end quote. The delay comes after a Jacksonville news station reached out following multiple complaints from ticket holders who said they requested refunds and never received a response from event organizers or the ticket seller Eventbrite. Earlier in the day, organizers said that all refund requests would be processed by June 14th and that only 29 tickets had been flagged for refund as of that morning. However, that was before the latest postponement was made public. It's unclear how many more refund requests have since been submitted. Adding to concerns, fans pointed out that the festival's website appears to be inactive and no confirmed performer list is currently posted. The original headliner was R&B artist Cisco, but according to his official tour schedule, he's now booked to perform in Virginia on the same day that 90s Fest was originally planned. Organizers say the event is still expected to go on later this year, but ticket holders remain frustrated with the lack of clarity and communication. Do you have tickets for this event?
I do not, and I think the change of venue really hurt her. Mm-hmm. And it's tough putting on these festivals. It doesn't take much to throw you out of balance. Mm-hmm. It is a challenge. I'm gonna hold back and see if that June 14th commitment gets treated, because I've been where she's at, and I don't like roughing up a local business person, but she does have to do right by the people that are out there that are requesting this, because the change does change a lot of people's schedule and a lot of those things. But I think the thing that hurt her the most, and she's talking about the Blue Crab Festival over there, which had its own problems. Mm-hmm. hurt this one, which could happen. But I think the biggest issue is she went from downtown, which is, you can sell tickets downtown much easier than you can at the fairgrounds or any other location, and she's in another location. Yeah. So I think that's what's hurt her the most. Cisco, I only know one of his songs. So,
I know. I only know one song for him to be the headliner.
Yeah. So I don't know his music. I mean, he seems to be a talented guy, but I don't really know his music, and I don't know if he's the one who's coming back or not. So
I don't know how many tickets the Thong song is going to sell in 2025.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody.
I was planning on wearing my thong and going, but
we've all been spared, everybody.
Yeah. Dodge step. I can't say the word.
No, we can't. Shadow Band. Dodge that high velocity projectile.
Yes.
All right, Gas Buddy Gas Report. Tell us in the comments what gas prices are looking like in your area. We've got Shell on King Street at $2.87, Sunoco at South Ponce at $2.89, Shell on 216 Ponce de Leon Boulevard is $2.89, Owens on South Ponce is $2.89 as well, Circle K on 207 is $2.96, A1A Discount Beverage $2.99, Gate on US 1 North is $3.19, Gate on Mizell Road is also $3.19, and so is Mobile and Circle K at South Ponce. Drop those gas prices in the comments. We love to see that. That Gas Buddy Gas Report is brought to you by Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Trouble with the law? Call the name St. Augustine has trusted for years. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team works fast to get you or your loved one out of jail and back home. From paperwork to release, they make the process simple, discreet, and stress-free. No judgment, just help when you need it the most. When time matters, remember the name and the number, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds at 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245. Live music report today. Got Driftwoods at the Boathouse, St. Augustine at 5 p.m., Greg Johnson's at Guy Harvey Resort, also 5. Landfalls at St. Augustine Shores Golf Club, also 5. Mark Hart, Tradewinds Lounge, 5 o'clock, and so is Bad Endings at Beaches at Volano. Got Joshua Tennessee Worthy at Funkadelic Food Shack at 5:30, and so is Jeremy Price at Schooner's Seafood House. Baby Gray is at Two Creeks Bar and Grill at 6 p.m., and so is Johnson Burns at DJ's Clam Shack.
They don't exist.
Hamana?
Johnson Burns is a group that is, it's a group we've tried to find them several times.
Yeah.
And every time we've shown up, they weren't there.
DJ's Clam Shack, report back.
Okay.
Burn Unit, Fusion, 904 Eatery, also 6 p.m. So is Taylor Roberts at Hilton St. Augustine Historic Bayfront. And New Guys on the Dock is at Oasis Deck and Restaurant at 6 p.m. Dion and Collins at Pesca Volano by Michael Lugo closes out the 6 p.m. hour. Jolie at Casa Divino 57's at 7 p.m. Bad Dog Mamas at Colonial Oak Music Park, 7 p.m. Heather Craig is at Meehan's Irish Pub and Seafood House, also 7 p.m. And so is Dyer Davis at Mellow Mushroom Mirabella and Caleb Joy at River and Fort. Closing out 7 p.m., we've got Contact Buzz at Arnold's Lounge and Courtney Fraser and Solo Lion at Pierre's Pub. Matt Wilson is at Cortesi's at 8 p.m. Honey Moonshine at Milltop Tavern at 9 p.m. Blister at Tradewinds, also 9 p.m. And Ramona is at Prohibition Kitchen, 10 p.m. That music report is brought to you by Fidus Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home, trust the local experts at Fidus Roofing and Construction, voted best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. Whether it's emergency repairs or full roof replacements, Fidus delivers expert shingle and metal installation using top-tier materials like the GAF Lifetime Roofing System, all backed by strong warranties and GAF Master Elite certification. Fidus Roofing, 904-355-ROOF.
They do pavers.
And gutter.
Major traffic shift. Major traffic shift planned on St. Johns County Road 210. Heads up, drivers. Major traffic shifts are coming to County Road 210 in St. Johns County next week. Starting Sunday, June 9th, construction will impact travel from Trinity Way to Beach Walk Boulevard, with delays expected through Thursday, June 13th, day before you get your refund from, never mind. Crews will divert westbound traffic to a newly constructed stretch of roadway beginning June 9th. Eastbound lanes will follow with a shift to the new road on the night of June 12th. From Monday through Thursday, traffic will be split as workers move low-profile barrier walls and build temporary crossovers to address elevation changes. That means left turns will be restricted and U-turns will be required at designated locations. Temporary signs and digital message boards will help direct traffic and alert drivers to the new pattern. This work is part of a $15 million County Road 210 widening project, which expands a 0.7-mile section of the road to 6 lanes with new sidewalks, bike lanes, and a signalized intersection aimed at relieving congestion in one of the county's busiest areas. All right, well, we have lots of faith in road construction.
Yeah, that's always, because they're always so quick and timely and get it done, and it's not inconvenient at all.
So efficient.
It's so efficient. So, yeah.
May the Lord be with you.
Road construction. Yeah. Well, you have the information now.
Yes, you have the information now. And the estimated deadlines.
Yes, and whatever they're telling you.
For whatever that's worth. Florida lawmakers want to pump up the rainy day fund with constitutional amendment. Florida lawmakers are taking steps towards building a bigger financial safety net for the state. On Thursday, the House Budget Committee advanced a proposed constitutional amendment that would require Florida to deposit $750 million per year into its Budget Stabilization Fund, commonly known as the Rainy Day Fund, to better prepare for future recessions or economic downturns. House Speaker Daniel Perez said the move ensures Florida is ready even if a recession hits, but not everyone is on board. Critics, including Democrats and the Florida AFL-CIO, argue the money should instead go toward urgent needs like raising teacher pay and improving children's health care, not stashed away in reserves. The amendment would raise the fund's cap from 10% to 25% of general revenue collections, potentially growing the fund to more than $11 billion in the years ahead. Some lawmakers question the need to mandate these contributions when the legislature already has the ability to fund the reserve voluntarily. Supporters like House Budget Chair Lawrence McClure say setting the money aside now prevents overspending and ensures the state is ready for a break-the-glass emergency. If passed, the amendment would go before voters in November 2026. In the meantime, the legislature would set aside the funds each year, holding them until the public decides. Also on Thursday, lawmakers advanced a plan to use $250 million a year to pay down state debt, while still pushing for $350 million in permanent sales tax exemptions and an additional $300 million for temporary tax holidays like the back-to-school and hurricane preparedness weeks. With just 2 weeks left in the session, budget negotiations are intensifying, and final deals must be struck by June 16th to avoid a disruption for the new fiscal year, which begins July 1st. So what are your thoughts on this new amendment?
It probably needs to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might be a little too much as far as the balance goes. And hopefully that's where they end up. I want teachers to have salaries, but again, teachers, I'm sorry, you guys only work. I work several jobs 12 months out of the year. You get paid pretty well per the time that you're actually there. And I know that's frustrating when I say that to people, but that's a life choice that you did choose. No one said, hey, you're going to be rich if you become a teacher.
Yeah.
It's a choice that you made.
That's not the pitch.
Yeah, that's not the pitch at all. And if you're working as a teacher to get rich, you're probably not a good teacher.
It's probably not the job for you.
Yeah. So I mean, and I love our teachers, and I want them to love our kids, but that's not the reason to get rich. So they always seem to use teachers.
Yeah, as a human shield.
As a human shield. And I don't think that's fair to teachers, and I don't think that's fair to us. So.
Yeah, it seems pretty cliche to be like, oh, we shouldn't set this money aside. Think of the teachers and the kids. It's like, okay, you always use teachers and kids when we need to increase government spending. So, maybe be a little more specific. And the idea that some lawmakers are like, why do we need a mandate? Well, it's because anytime government has their hands on money, they're going to spend it unless they're forced to put it aside. I mean, we have the whole Social Security lockbox situation as an example.
They don't only spend that, they overspend. And that's why we got to have this. And you got to have reserves. And we are, we're, if you don't think we're in a recession, we are in a recession. And so it's good to have a little bit of a safety net there.
Yes.
So.
And when times are going well, you need to set some money aside. That's just basic economics, basic running of the business. Troy, how do you want to check the comments today?
On this finale Friday, I will frantically find my way through the fans' comments, flinging them furiously from right to left.
Well, there you go. That frantic finding is brought.
Flinging today.
We're flinging. That frantic flinging is brought to you by B&S Signs. Want your business to get noticed and stay that way? Turn to B&S Signs. Proudly family owned and serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From bold vinyl lettering to towering pylon signs, they specialize in high quality custom signage built to last. Their expert team handles everything design, installation, crane service, repairs, and maintenance with fast, responsive service that keeps your sign looking sharp. Make a lasting impression with B&S Signs. Visit bnssigns.com because when it comes to signs, they do it all. Also brought to you by St. Augustine Handy House. Need a custom or prefab portable building that's built to last? Come to St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Usina Enterprises and serving the community since 1988. With over 70 structures in stock, from sheds and barns to carports and offices, you'll find the perfect fit for your needs. Every building comes with free delivery, leveling, and anchoring, plus easy financing options to fit your budget. Visit them on State Road 16, open Monday through Saturday, or call 904-823-9092, St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience. Give us a comments report.
All right. In the comments, we didn't have a whole lot of people responding to the best action star right now, but the best answer I did see was Stitch.
Okay.
So from Lilo and Stitch, he does all. Here's what's amazing.
He does all of his own stuff.
He does all his own stunts, and people don't realize that. And Stitch is a rock star. Wawa is at 319, and Costco is holding at 269. I think Buc-ee's is also at that 269 number. Bad ending, is that like, did they have a breakup with happy ending? I mean, that's.
Oh, we don't want that.
That band that I heard, I don't know if that's you might want to think about rebranding. And Kenny, I was talking about the thong. Yes, between, if the question of the day was thong or commando, commando wins every time. So, and everybody showed so much love for road construction in our area. They're huge fans of that. So
big fans of asphalt.
Big fans, and that's not part of the commando, the asphalt statement.
They love that pot holes spilling, those things. Stoidum stat.
All right, I have to mention one Stoidum stat, but I've done it before, but this is not the official Stoidum stat.
Okay.
It is a celebration of D-Day, probably in our history, one of the top 5 days in U.S. history, and impact that it had. Well, actually, we won.
We did.
We won, so it was a sad day
for loss of life.
That allowed us to still be speaking English.
Wasn't it? Eisenhower was president.
No, Eisenhower was.
He was a general.
He was the general in charge.
FDR was president.
Yeah, and
Eisenhower wrote a letter taking full responsibility of the failure of D-Day, and he had it ready to go if it didn't go well.
Yeah, no, and it got postponed and because of a weather situation, but it's amazing what all the Allies were able to pull off and trick the axis into thinking they were going someplace else, and the success. And it's not just the guys that landed on the beach that day. There were guys there. I don't know if you've ever seen the World War II glider. Okay, they didn't actually have. They would pull them behind the planes to carry people in it.
Yeah,
and it was basically 40 people in a kite.
So crazy.
And then they just kind of crash landed out there. I mean, if I was on D-Day, I would be like, okay, give me the bullets on the beach. I don't want to be in the glider.
So my grandfather was in the first wave on D-Day. I don't know if he would agree with you.
Yeah.
The only reason he said that he even made it to the beach was those little boat drivers, they started to panic and they started to drop the doors early. And
too soon.
People were pushed off into water that was too deep for all the packs that they were carrying. And the commander on my grandfather's boat put a gun to the boat driver's head
so
and said, "You're taking us.
Get us closer. Get us all the way to the beach.
You're taking us all the way there." And that's the only reason why he didn't get pushed off into deep water. So he did survive, obviously, the beach incursion on D-Day. He made it all the way to just outside the Capitol, and a sniper got him.
And one of my best friends' dad was a part of D-Day, and he was one of the boat drivers of that, where the door comes down like this. And on the first run, when they did the drop, it didn't come back up.
Oh.
So all the way back in, they were taking fire. But he says that saved his life because he only had to make one run.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, he's like, because the rest of them had to make like 5 and 6 runs with those boats, and because their boat broke down, he only had to make the one run. He's like, I think that's what saved my life.
Yeah.
So
my dad, or my grandfather, and his fellow servicemen, they were in formation, and Patton inspected the ranks and stopped and asked my grandfather and his regiment mates, I guess, where they were from. And they were from Clemson. And Clemson had been a military academy before it opened up. And Patton said that people don't know the debt they owe the men from Clemson for fighting in this war. And he, gave him a little pat on the arm and then walked on. And that was a big moment for my grandfather to get to see Patton.
Oh, cool.
But
because he was kind of a distract. He was pulling people away.
Yeah.
He was the decoy in that situation. So
yeah, my grandfather, he did get shot by a sniper through the knee. He ended up in a ditch for 24 hours, bleeding from the wound. The only reason he survived was how he fell.
Yeah,
he fell in such a way that it pressurized it.
Pressurized it.
He almost lost his leg, but they were able to save his leg. So he made it until his 80s.
Wow.
And told us stories about it. But I asked him once if he had his uniform. And because he was laying in the mud, just bleeding for 24 hours, they got the uniform off of him. They put all of his stuff in the bag. It was just dust by the time he was out of the hospital.
Yeah, my grandfather was in the Pacific, and he was a bulldozer guy, so he kind of got to see the remains. Never really was shot at or anything, but some of those horror stories that he said and what he saw was, that's why they were the greatest generation.
Yeah,
no,
there was a different breed. All right, so that was the memorial stat. What is your official Stoidem stat for today?
The official Stoidem stat and the fun one. And if you grew up at a time where I grew up, you know why I'm saying it was the fun one. 1933 in Camden, New Jersey, they created the drive-in movie theater.
Drive-in movie theater.
Now, the drive-in movie theater was a big part of my life early in my life.
Was it?
Yes, it was. And it might have been where I was conceived. I'm not sure. But a lot of people were. 1933. A lot of people were conceived in drive-in movie theaters. But I can tell you.
Is that where the baby boom really came from?
The baby boom came from drive-in movie theaters. And that is 100% true.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Big back seats back then. But on Sundays in DeLand, the drive-in movie theater, it was $5 a vehicle.
All right.
All right. It could be a pickup truck, bless you, Blake. It could be a car, but you could jam whatever you wanted to jam in there.
Which is how all the babies came from.
Exactly. But that's when I perfected my skills of making hunch punch.
Oh, okay.
And we'd load up the back of a truck. We'd have a 55-gallon drum with a liner in it. Pour in the green alcohol. This was the time when you had the canned Hawaiian punch. Pour in the cans of Hawaiian punch. Cut up whatever fruit you stole from your mom's refrigerator. And hunch punch and bad decisions were made every Sunday at the DeLand drive-in movie theater.
My most millennial thing about me is that I've never been to a drive-in movie theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, because it was quite an experience. And we all look forward to it on Sunday nights. And when I was a kid, they actually had the thing that hung on your window, and that was your speaker.
Yeah.
By the time I was in high school, they sent it out on a radio wave, and you had it. But no one watched the freaking movie.
No.
I mean, not on Sunday. It literally was like, did you guys hang out at like McDonald's parking lot or anything like that when you were in high school? Or
so we had a big bowling.
You actually are.
We had a big bowling alley.
Okay,
and so we would either like hang out at parks or on the beach, or we would go to the bowling alley that was open until like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So we were the last. I worked at TGI Fridays, and we were where all the food service people came.
Yeah, I used to love the
after they closed. Oh my word, their Oreo madness.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So everyone would in the area, their restaurants would close, they would get cut, they would come to Fridays and they would start drinking because we were still open until we kicked everybody out, and we would all go hang out at the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah. All right. And there was a drive-in north of town. It's close to where Schooners is in that area. I think it was on the property where that apartment complex is.
Yeah.
So there was a drive-in here. I never went to the drive-in here. So.
Every drive-in that I've been to has no longer been operational. So I have hung out in the parking lot
of a drive-in.
Yeah.
Like Marty McFly.
Deep conversations, but totally deep conversations. But yeah, I've never actually seen a movie at a drive-in, and that's a bummer for me. I want to find a drive-in that I can go to.
There you go.
That's Totem Stats, brought to you by St. Augie's Pizza in downtown St. Augustine, right on the corner of Riberia and MLK. Get yourself a slice today. We got plugs, Troy?
We got plugs. I'm doing a segment today. It is an opinion page. It's not going to be reflective of any of our sponsors. I'm going to do it at 9:04 live today, every Friday at 9:04. I'm going to give you my 2 cents.
All right. Troy's 2 cents. Blake, do you have any plugs? No plugs. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Don't forget to follow us, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Bye, guys.
Bye.